Welcome back to another video. So now I'm going to be showing you how we can perform memory analysis using volatility. So now in case you do not have volatility installed on your Kali Linux, you can just say pip install. It is just pip install, then you can go for volatility. So in case that is done, volatility will be installed on your machine, but of course you can also go to GitHub and download volatility. So now make sure you download volatility 3 because it is more easier to use and we are commonly using Python 3. Now if you download volatility 2, there would be a little bit of a difference in the commands that you'll be typing. So now the labs that I'm going to be using, they are from Blue Team Labs. In case you do not have an account with them, please you can go and create an account with them. They do also have free labs and also the part of the subscription. As you try to see here, we do have the pro and we do have the challenges. So now in case you create up an account with them, we need to go to the challenges, whereby we shall be welcomed with different labs that we can work on. I recorded one of my videos when I was showing you how we can perform our email analysis or phishing analysis. So now in case you create an account with them, make sure you come here to challenges. Now in challenges, this is where we are going to look for our memory analysis lab. So I need to scroll down a bit as I'm reading through. All here I need to check for, this is the lab that I performed in my previous videos. So we have here memory analysis ransomware. So I already completed this lab, but I'm going to show you how we can use volatility and how did I manage to come to finish this lab. So I'm going to click on that. So in case for you, you just tap on start challenge. So in case you click on that lab, they give you some information about the lab. But when you try to come here, they say that you are going to use volatility as some of the tools that you can be using. So there is volatility web. In case you do have volatility web, it is more easier. It can be installed in Docker. You can use multiple tools, but here for us, we are going to go to volatility. I already have volatility installed on my Kali Linux. So now here they said that they are going to give you 20 points. The difficulty is medium, solves, there are many, and always Windows and Linux. So now make sure you come here to the memory dump. We see that here it has a password which is BTLO, and click here on download file. So in case you click on download file, it is going to be downloaded on your machine. Now when you try to see here, I already downloaded that. I no longer need to download this again. So I do have the answers here. Now in case you finish to download your volatility, you need to move to the path or location where your memory dump is downloaded. So now I'm going to go to my downloads. I need to go to the path of my download manager, which is Pepsolis, and it's in compressed, and I think the folder it is main. So now if we list data here after downloading your stuffs, now personally I do have lots of data here, but I can go on and clean these, or I can go on and all I need is this infected. So in case you download your file and you extract it, remember the password is going to be BTLO. You only have infected and another file for BTLO.txt, I guess. So I can just copy these and put them in a separate file to be on a safer side. So I can create up another folder here, and I'm going to call it text. So if I create that, and I'm going to move my infected and BTL, I think it starts with a B, I'm going to move them to this test. So when I clear that, let's move to the test and release. So these are the files that will be present in your zip in case you do extract it. So now in case you do have the infected vmem file, here we are going to be using volatility. So you see the extension, it is just vmem. So now here, in case you do have volatility installed on your machine, there is a chance that when you just type vol, it will be started, or when you just go for volatility full, you will be able to access your volatility. So in case you are not sure whether your volatility is installed, I think we can write a -h to see the version. So you see that I'm running volatility 3 and I do have the plugins installed, or primarily come with my volatility. So I'm going to clear that, but with volatility and a -h, you'll be able to see the version of the volatility you're using, because that is going to determine the commands that you are going to be using with your file. Volatility 2 and volatility 3, things do change just a little bit. So we have volatility 3 running here. So now when you just type volatility, we need to say a -f. Now here we need to provide a file, which is our infected file, or this is the file which was dumped from the infected machine during the time of attack. So now here I'm going to say infected, that is the file that I want to test. And here let us first say Windows. Now these are the commands for volatility 3. So now here we are going to say Windows info, in case we need to know which machine or on which machine was this file dumped from. So now here we can be able to see that either this was dumped from Windows 7 or Windows 10 or any other architecture. So now when you come here, you see that we do have a path. Now when we come here, we see a Windows Intel, but when we come here, you also see our local disk C/Windows. This can give you a glimpse that this was dumped on your Windows machine. So now in case you know the operating system from which this memory was dumped, still it's going to help you when typing in your commands. So now if we come back here to our browser, let's first tackle the first question. Now here they say that we should run the volatility and we should run the PS scan, that we list all the processes and name the suspicious process. So now if you go on and you run your PS scan, we need to see the processes that were running by the time when this memory was dumped. So now here with our PS scan, simply it will just go on and discover those processes. So now I'm going to just press my upper arrow key. Now here I'm going to just say PS scan, but you see that I can also use the PS tree so that I can see different processes that were running, including the parental and child processes. So if I click enter, we can just give it a few minutes. Now here it will go on and list all the processes which were running by the time this memory was dumped. Now all you need to do when you're trying to analyze the memory looking for malwares, you need to look for something which is suspicious. So now here I see it is taking some time. It will be fast or slow depending on how your machine is. Now when you try to see firstly what is being displayed here, we do have the PID, we do have the PPID, the image, and many other stuffs. So now it means here we shall be able to know the parental ID of the application that started and also the application that was started. So now if we try to look here, and in case you know your Windows system internals, we know that the SVC OS is okay, unless when the name was changed a little bit to masquerade it. But here when analyzing a file, you need to be very keen. So now here we have to look for a suspicious file. You can scroll down just a little bit. We have the DL host. Now you can even try to Google these executable files and see which one looks suspicious. Now I see we have the Explorer. So this one, it is done, that opens up your file manager in case you want to watch your movies, whatever. So now if we come here, you see that we have WANA decryptor and we do have this suspicious executable. But let's try to come and look at the PID and the parental ID. So the PID of this WANA decryptor, we say it is 3968, but if we come to the PPID, it is 2732, whereby the PID for this, it is 2732. So which means that this one, it is the parental process of that wanna decryptor. So now you can copy this, and if you come back here and you paste your wanna decryptor, you will see that you receive your marks. So now here they will go on and tell us, or the next question, what is the parental process ID of the suspicious process. Now we have already talked about that. If you choose the wanna decryptor, you see the PPID, it is that one, whereby that PPID, it is the PID of this weird executable. So let's come back to our questions. Here they say, what is the initial malware executable that created this process? Still we see our weird name. Now in case you don't know that, still we can copy that and we try to search that on Google, and we see what could that be. Perhaps there may be some information on Google that we can use to know specifically what is the family of this malware. So I'm going to copy that, but for now let's first come back to the question. Now here they say, if you drill down on the suspicious PID, they give us a command here that we can use. They say vol py. We provided -f to our file. They give us a profile. Now if you are using the latest volatility, I think we don't need this profile. That's where we are using windows dot and the command we want. So now you see here they are telling us to put a PS scan. We are going to use a pipe, and here we can say grape and the PID here. So they're telling us to find the process used to delete the files. So let's go on and we try to write that command. So now I'm going to go on and clear this, press the up arrow key to bring that back. So now here we have our PS scan. I'm going to put a pipe, which is my vertical line, and I'm going to say grep for the PID, which was the parental ID. So here we can say, let's first provide the parental ID of perhaps this one, which is 2732. So in case we are done with that, let's press enter and see if we may get back some good information that can give us a clear picture what happened, or what application had killed or deleted these files. So let's give it a few minutes. It is down to 100 and it's going to list our data. So in case it fails, we can just go on and retry to this PID of this wanna decryptor. Now you see here we have wanna decryptor. There is a greater chance that the ransomware which was captured by the time of attack, it could be WannaCry. So I'm going to just go on and also copy this, because now I just cancelled. So let me clear this. I run this again. I just press Ctrl C and cancelled. Now here I need to copy that again. I need to just give it a few minutes so that it finishes to load. Now after our command has been executed, we see that this task DLL, it is the executable that was used to go on and delete this executable, or what we considered as suspicious files that were running on our machine in the study case. So that's why you see here, if we come to our question, I gave the answer as the taskgirl.exe. So now here they say find the path where the malicious file was executed. So now in case you need to know the path, this is where we are going to use a plugin which is called file scan. Now here I'm going to go on and open up my terminal again. Let's clear this. So now here press the upper arrow key again. Now I'm going to remove this to see the file path. This is where we can go to the file scan and press enter. So here we shall be able to see the path where the file was executed from. It might be a desktop or downloads or any other location on our machine. it can help you as the analyst to know where exactly the malware was. So let's just give it a few minutes. We see our information has been brought by still loading, but we can still try to look through what was brought back, and we try to see if we can look at the data that we wanted. As you saw earlier, we used grep. You can also use grep to go on and filter out content from this in case you don't want to return lots of stuff here. Grep can help you to go on and clear your information. So we know we have our exe, which had a weird name, and one a decryptor. So we have to only look for those in our location here. So let's begin when we are trying to look for some files here. Attacker might inject this to the local disk C, or it might be in our user's location. So we have to look at those paths when we are trying to search for the location. So I see there is that one. It is weird. Perhaps let me scroll down further and watch them from the bottom, since they were at the bottom. So let me scroll, moving up. Now here it might be a little bit hard. Let me see. We do have the desktop, but we don't see any executable, which was there. I see the user, and that is a DLL, a desktop. We have it here. So this is the location or the executable which we identified previously, which is malicious, and we see it is being executed from the desktop. The path, the user, it is hacker, desktop, and our file. So in case you go on and you copy this path, you provide it as your answer, it will be successful. So here I just added on the C, since if you come here, this user's directory, it is only found in local disk C unless the path was changed, but you can only find it in local disk C. So if we come back to our questions, here they say you can identify, or can you identify what ransomware is it? So I just guess that it is WannaCry, but if we come back to our volatility, we can come and highlight this. So let's assume we don't know what that is. So I'm going to copy that. We can come to Google and we open up. I'm going to just paste that and press enter. Let's see what can we find out there. So now once I paste that, we see some of the links that are telling us WannaCry ransomware, and we do have our exact name, we do have the analysis. So here we also have malware analysis, we have our file here. This is AnyRun. This is a good platform that is being used by many analysts to go on and test viruses. So you see that here it is easy for us to spot that this was executed by WannaCry ransomware. So also here we see the exact name which we found in our memory. So in case you come back and you provide your WannaCry, your answer will be correct. So now here they say what is the file name or the file with the ransomware public key that was used to encrypt our private key. So now you can come back and we see that if we scan for our file scan, perhaps if we read it through, we shall be able to see if we can see our key. Now once you come up here, you see that we have this, it ends with .ek. Perhaps that is our answer, and that is the path. So if we come and highlight that and you copy that, if we come here, you see that once I pasted that, that was the correct answer. Now here you'll be done for the labs, but we can go on and we check which software ends with that extension of .ek. Perhaps let me just paste that. I see what can be returned back. Now if you try to see, still also I think it is EKY deals with ransomware, but once you look here, we also have a PKY. So I'm not sure, but you see here we've managed to work on this lab very fast with our volatility. Now some of you might have questions. What is volatility? This is a Python-based tool that allows us to analyze the memory that is taken from our operating system by the time the machine was hacked. So now in case you want to see more videos like this, both in defense and offensive pen tests, you can feel free to subscribe on my channel, turn on the notifications icon so that you don't miss any of the videos that I'll be uploading. But before I go on, volatility has more to offer. All you need to do is to download, get other labs that you can try on. Once you come here, you see that we have multiple plugins that you can go on and use to see that you can find out more information from your volatility. You can go on and also dump the DLLs, but volatility has a lot to offer. There is also a cheat sheet here which you can use to see how volatility 2 and volatility 3 we can use the commands in all. Have a great day. Peace.